So you are baptized, you're a Christian now, you're going on your journey. What made you quit Christianity?
It happened very recently, Esther. So I was in India in lockdown, and I saw, um, and you know how lockdown was playing with people's mind because of the fear of coronavirus, and then you're in the lockdown. You're questioning a lot of things in your life, and one of the biggest question up to this point, or it has always been ever since I started the Christian journey, was that am I doing the right thing, or is this the only faith or the right faith, or as they say that, oh, Jesus is the only way to attain salvation, or not salvation but to attain Jesus himself, and to cut off all the ties with this world, and your soul is just going to be with Jesus for eternity. So I was unable, to digest it, but I was going back and forth in my journey. So even after baptism, I went for 2 years. I would say that I was a staunch Christian, but later on, I started digressing a little bit, and I started, questioning things again, because there were not enough answers, when I was reading the contradictory things and contradictory theories.
You said you were reading contradictory things in the Bible or outside the Bible?
In the So I was reading contradictory things in Bible, and then some of the basic tenets of Bible, which for example, like your soul is never going to come back to this earth, and you are once and for all, if you have accepted Jesus as your savior, then you got rid of everything, and you basically are born once, and there is no reincarnation concept in Christianity, which I was not able to digest, because growing up, I met people personally who have shared their reincarnation stories that they remembered in their childhood, and some of them actually remember it now as well, even though they are like 70-year-old now. And they have all kind of proofs from their past life memory, and those proofs have been verified. And then the internet is full of such no, I would not call them stories, but the real life thing that people have gone through. There is near death experience, there is reincarnation. So all of these questions were unanswered through Bible. And in Bible itself, there are like so many contradictory verses that I came along, which were let's say, I do not remember like word by word or verse by verse, but I can tell you the gist of the whole thing. That let's say that they say they emphasize a lot on goodness of God, but then the God in their books itself is asking Moses to keep the wives, kill the other wives, and keeping some of the wives or the women to himself, or kill a lot of children, and lot of other things, like pelting with the stones if there is a person who's believing in another god other than yours, or things like go kill them, and burn all their idols, or destroy all their idols. So things like there are like a lot of verses like this.
They run contrary to the good nature of the biblical God, right?
Right. Yeah. So at one point they're saying that God is amazing, and but at the same time there is so much contradiction that your God is asking to kill, to do the child abuse, to do the sexual abuse, and all kind of abuses. And not only this, I mean, when I in the later in the journey, when my journey back to my own religion or my own roots. So as I was telling you that in the lockdown period in India, the Palghar, have you heard of the Palghar incidents, which happened in Maharashtra, where two monks and an innocent driver was lynched? And that was the turning point for me when I saw those videos, and then I started reading about the communal angle to it, and I started digging more in the or started doing more research, and that was the turning point. And when I came to know that actually what happened in Palghar was that these extremist movements, they got a color of Christianity because a lot of Christian conversions have happened in that area. And there are only two religions left there now, like the majority is, one is Christianity, the other is Islam. There is minority of Hindus in that area now. There are not as many Hindus left. And I came to know, or I started doing the research, reading the article, that this extremist movement took the communal color because these two monks, they were doing good work in that area, or they were trying to raise awareness against the Christianity. So that's how they were mob lynched.
So, knowing that there were only two religions left in this part of the country, which is one is Christianity, one is Islam, and Hinduism was a minority here, weren't you happy that the demonic worship or the demonic religion was coming to an end or becoming a minority, while the real religion, or while the real way to salvation was becoming a majority? So why weren't you happy with that news?
So I think at this point I was still a Christian, but contesting in my mind about everything. The Palghar incidents actually was a turn back for me because at that time then I started not only reading uh, about the lynching that happened, about the incidents that happened, because it shook my soul literally. I mean, I was shattered. I watched the video and I was questioning so many things now because I started researching. And then my research took me deep into the facts that where did Christianity come from, or how did it grow throughout the world, and what are its origin, and how did it spread, and things like that. So
Until this point, nobody told you. You went to two small groups, you went to a big family church. Nobody ever told you how the history of Christianity?
no, nobody told me the history of Christianity. All we were doing was Bible and whatever is written in the Bible. So I was always questioning, even in the small groups, that, but they did not have answers because they did not read anything about it. They did not know about world religions. They cannot make a good contrast because um, they didn't read religion enough, or they did not read about world religion, world history, or the history of their own religion. So all in all, I was only exposed to Bible. That's it.
Bible, Jesus, how to worship, how to get those spiritual gifts, and how ultimately to reach the heaven. So at this point in India, you started digging into the church history and all that. And what did you find out?
So I found out that first of all, there is a lot of theories. I bumped on one of the website that I really liked. It's called infidels.org, and there is a lot of content, lot of aces from apologetics of Christianity who have written really good content, and they try to chart out the contrast in Christianity, or the contradictions in Bible itself. So I started reading those, and I had no answers for them because there is no answer. That plainly and simply in plain sight there are contradictions. Then also the archaeological and historical debate around Jesus. That did he actually, he was in the tomb, and did he leave the tomb, or what happened to his body, and was he actually crucified, and things like that. So there is a lot of debate even on those historical and archaeological proofs. And then I came across like about the Dark Age. So there is a book by Catherine Nixie. I came to know that Christianity actually took a Dark Age path, and it it was killing cultures around the world. And how did Constantine became Christian, and then he took this route of trying to convert people in by using violent methods. And from then on, it became very common, and the crusades, about crusades, that how many million people have been killed in crusades. And now that the crusade doesn't happen, but I think that it still happens indirectly, like not directly, but indirectly it is still happening. And how then I read about how the history of how Christianity came to India, and how it approached the indigenous and native people. Now it's actually becoming more about indigenous and tribal, because they do not have money, they do not have privileges, they are easy to lure people, and they're innocent. So it's very easy to talk to them into Christianity and tell them that this is the only way. But I read lots and lots of articles online which talk about the contradictions, which talk about that why things need to be debated in Bible itself.
So at this point, you were really shocked about the history of Christianity. Then what shape did your journey to take from here?
I think it took a very rebellious turn now, because I've been writing about things, I've been speaking about all of it, I've been questioning. And on social media there are a lot of groups, especially in Facebook, that post the picture of what missionaries are doing, and what kind of political plus power and money game that they are playing. So now everything, even from the beginning, it was all about power and monotony over the world, and they want their authority, and but now it has taken a way dirtier turn compared to what it was in the past. In past they were violent, because I read about that how Saint Xavier's of Goa, what all he had done, and what kind of atrocities he had done on women in Goa to try to spread the religion, and other things like that. And but now I think they are more approaching innocent people or underprivileged people, and also those people who are miracle mongers. They are looking for miracles in their life. And I think this is such a and hard time for people, and good time for them, for the missionaries to convert, because this with the coronavirus, the economy has collapsed, and even in India, people are facing a lot of troubles, and the missionaries are actually spreading their business, and all the videos are out there from the churches, from the Pentecostal churches in India, and what kind of stuff they are doing, like people rolling on the grounds and sticking tongues out, and they're trying to do the exorcism stuff. So and if they were done by my own people, they would call it as witchcraft and whatnot. They're trying to be deep seated into mind of a normal Indian, and trying to prove by every means that they are better. They are trying to culturally appropriate everything, and trying to give everything a color of Christ. So let's say, for example, in Durga Puja Pandal in Kolkata, they had Jesus. An idol of Jesus, which was being worshipped in the similar manner as they were doing it for Kali. Or there is a Garba video that I saw, which was a Christian Garba. Have you ever heard of Christian Garba? Because till now I thought that Garba is to revere Adi Shakti and Ma Durga, and that's to worship them. That's why we do Garba.
This is an old practice of Christianity. Any culture that they go into, they try to assimilate it initially, and then they own it, and then they promote it as their own. So that's how it entered into the West. That's how it entered into all the pagan Europe, and it took on the practices of paganism. So which is why there are so many similarities between pagan practices, and what Christianity is today. So it's not Christianity was not born in a vacuum. It adapts the practices, local practices, any place it goes into, and it evolves. It keeps evolving, and that's how it is spreading. So you realized that you went onto the wrong path with this incident, did you come back and tell your small group members or the family church members that you have found out all these things, and did you try to put these questions to them?
Yes, I to one of the small group members or the leader actually, I came out with it, and so what how it started was that I was sharing the Palghar incidents, and she told me that things like this happen from both ends. Like Hindus would do the same thing to Christians too; they would kill too. But I don't think that is a good contrast in any way, because the incidents that she quoted was from long back, and in Orissa, where a couple was burnt because they were Christian, and the yeah. So right. So they burned this couple. But my question is that in mob lynching kind of cases, or in other many cases like this, where things are happening indirectly and not on right on your face. So a lot of killing is happening, and so I told her that a lot of monks are being killed because they are trying to stop the conversions, and these things would not even come in the mainstream media, you know. And the even the mob lynching case, so there are like hundreds of people, I think 161 or some people who attacked three people and killed them, and police was there. And so think about how and what kind of impact these religions are trying to make by turning the extremist movements into a communal colored movement, and they're giving it a communal color. So I asked my small group leader about all these things, and all she could say was that these are not the true Christians then. But that did not make sense to me, you know. I mean, I don't know, like, how do you quote true Christians and false Christians? Is it your subjective definition, or is it an overall definition? Because again, the contradiction started surfacing up, that you are defending, or you are trying to contrast or trying to debate me a death over death, right? So if a death happened in Orissa, you cannot justify the death of two monks at the hand of people by saying that you know, these kind of things happen. And then I spoke to the other leaders, to small group leader, and I came to know of what is going on in the Western world now, like how they are portraying about of the incidents in Western world. So let's say a thing that happens in India, in a tribal region where the Christian land mongering is happening. The missionaries are trying to acquire some land, and uh, if people in India, these tribes, if they are, or these tribe or any people for that matter, are raising voice against it, and then that is called as intolerance in Western world. And you will see a lot of articles saying that uh, uh, these people are antichrist. The lot of persecution is happening to the Jesus lovers and Jesus followers. And I'm talking about these websites or publications, or you know, these newspapers which are very Christian oriented newspapers in the Western world. So you are giving it an absolutely different color, and you are basically, you're lying.
Right. So what did how did they react, and what was their justification?
So one of the small group leaders, so I told her, so she told me and she asked me that Jesus did so many miracles and delivered in your life and delivered you from so many problems. So I said, no, Jesus did not, because all this time, I think at the back of my mind, I always believed in the supreme one God and the divinity of all of it, you know. So I was always, you know, apart from those 2 or 3 years, I was questionable in most of it. And I did not see Jesus. I did not see any light of him or anything, you know, about him. So I don't think it is Jesus who delivered me. They either they were, you know, destined to happen, whatever happened in my life, and based on my karma theory and what I believe in and I grew up in, or it was in other words, I saw it as my soul or to which came on this earth or took a form to learn things. So then the leader told me, the small group leader told me that, okay, you can keep believing whatever you want to, but Jesus is the only way still. And I said, I do not believe in that, and I don't think that I need to believe in that. I have all the rights to question. I have all the rights to find answers, and there is a lot of contradictions that I'm seeing. So the actual talk of contradictions did not happen with them, and I don't think it is going to happen anymore, because of the path that I have taken back now, and I've taken a step back, and I'm back to my dharma, and doing all kind of rituals, and going to mandir, and doing nitya puja and everything. So I don't think that I will be seen as the same person anymore. So that is definitely that story is over, I guess.
So now you call yourself an ex-Christian?
Yes, absolutely. I do call myself, and I think I'm proudly an ex-Christian because I questioned, I used my logical mind, and I read things, I tried to find out, I instigated, and I am back onto where I actually belonged. And I'm so proud of it. The kind of peace that I have found, the kind of amazement that I have in my life and towards my own things, because now they all seem to make even more sense to me now. And I am doing. I'm reading. I'm doing a lot of dharma reading, and I'm doing whatever in my best capacity, like whatever the time permits, actually not in my best capacity, but whatever time permits. I'm doing meditation and everything, and trying to understand it all on the spiritual level. And to add on to it, when you ask me that, the talking in tongues happened because of the belief. I was first made to believe that this can happen, but to me meditation happened all by itself, like automatically.
Brainwash you into it, or brainwash you into believing that, oh, first you meditate, believe that meditation helps, and then meditation started helping. It was not like that. That was the
Absolutely.
for talking in tongues.
Right. That's right. Yes, that's right. And not just talking in tongues, but lot of things that that are made for you to make believe, and they are deep seated in your mind by constant brainwashing. And but in this case, the meditation happened naturally. Even I think I started meditating, and when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and nobody. I just got inspired because my father was doing it, and I saw him doing it. I got inspired. I started doing it. He did not say even a word to me that what is meditation, what you should be doing, or what you should be thinking in meditation. And I just followed the procedure that he's sitting, closing his eyes, and the spiritual thing started happening to me ever since. So I did not. Nobody told me nothing, and even at that point, I was not very aware of the religion itself. So. These those things actually came instantly to me and automatically. There was no enforcing whatsoever.
Yeah. Yes. So you didn't have to believe first for it to happen or for it to manifest.
That's right.
Correct. So Asmi, would you like to say something to our viewers in closing?
Yes, absolutely, Esther. So one thing that I would like to add is, even if the youngsters do fall prey to the evangelicals, one thing that they should do is they should not stop asking. They should not stop seeking, and they should not stop reading, or whatever if they're writing, or the writers, or they should not stop their search right there. And they must know the history of religions, the history of world religions, and how things have happened in the past, what kind of and what sort of atrocities have been done in the name of religions, and even the deeper questions, like the contradiction in Bible, or all the theories that revolve around Bible, and how Bible is not able to make us stand clearly in terms of history and archaeology, and the verses itself, which are so contradictory. Also, the religion that they're leaving behind, they should keep contrasting and keep questioning that why am I leaving this religion behind, or why am I leaving my dharma behind? What is going to happen next to me? Is this the only way? And things like that. So you can always bring up a good contrast, and that's how you can stop yourself from being brainwashed completely and thoroughly. So I really urge the youngsters, or anybody for that matter, who have converted their religion, do such things. Otherwise you're just going to be trapped, and you're not doing good for yourself or for anybody for that matter. And these fanaticism is leading to the atrocities in the world right now, or in any religion. So they need to stop, and they need to rethink and question themselves.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Asmi Chinmayi with her journey in and out of Christianity. The loner on college campus, the vulnerable, susceptible youngster who was looking out for company. And somebody found her actually. And that somebody happens to be a lay evangelical, which is why I stress again and again, lay evangelism is the real threat. So, parents that have watched this, I would like you to be there with your kids when you let them out into the world. Never for a moment I would want any parent to leave their child, no matter how old he or she is, to never leave them into a lonely state. That is when we have the vultures called lay evangelicals pouncing on them and trying to convert them. I would like to give a call to all those closeted ex-Christians that are right now watching. And for obvious reasons, which any ex-Christian like us, me, or myself can understand why they're not able to come out. I would like to give a call through this show of mine. If there's anybody out there trying to grapple with the truth of whether they have done the right thing or not by quitting, I would like them to write into us. Your mails, emails, or your comments will be totally kept confidential and anonymous. But please do write into us and allow us to help you. So on that note, thank you so much, Chinmayi, and we will see how we can work together. I would really like to use your experience and in actually enlightening youngsters. There are so many youngsters that are actually falling prey because of their loneliness, because of their emotional need to belong in a social order, like I said in the beginning. And I would like to see how you could partner with us and work with us in trying to save as many youngsters as we can from falling prey. Namaste.
Namaste.